Hello everyone and welcome to Game Club, and today we'll be taking a nice stroll through a valley. The problem is that it's Bear Valley, so there might be a few bears around waiting to, well, chew on us. Hopefully we can escape from them before they do any real damage, i.e. remove limbs and stuff. Anyway, join us as we review and play Bear Valley. Right, we're going to start with the unboxing of Bear Valley. It's, I think that the artwork is sort of sufficient for what it's trying to get to, which is people get scared by bears. Anyway, here we go. Right, so there's you can just about see the box work. Sorry, I'll get out the lens glare. Let's just. Box work for Bear Valley is quite sort of bog standard. Growling bear obviously suggests menace. You've got the thing in there that says 8+, 2 to 6 players, 15 to 30 minutes, and then your kind of very kind of soulless looking characters on the side here. They all look like they've gone through some quite harrowing experiences, but that's quite interesting. I'm not a massive fan of, oh geez, he looks generally the most perturbed of the lot, and they look like video game sort of characters. And then we've got the cards as well, and we've got our playing pieces, okay, and then we've got our booklet, which is, oh yeah, it's quite well done, and then we've got our items, which I think I'll just drop out there. But anyway, right, well, now that's done, join us as we will then go and play and then review Bear Valley. In front of us here, this is Bear Valley. We've got our starting card, and then we've got our cards which are laid out there. These will be the cards with that back, not with this back, and effectively you lay out a course which will run from where they are all the way through to where there is this camp. I'll just show it to you in close up. So you've got this nice camp, and you've got a little sign there and a nice fire going, so you can have something lovely and delicious to eat. Those cards there. Now just to show you on, I'll just actually leave those there so you can see it. You've got on here also, you've got the pieces that you can find on it. You've got your gold, your spyglass, picnic basket, machete, canoe, flashlight and rope. Now each one obviously benefits a particular character and does a particular thing. Just to note, we've chosen Sunny, Fozzie, Violet and of course Vertigo, interesting name, for play here. No player pieces can be on the same piece, can stop on the same piece, and effectively what the game is a push your luck game. So you're pushing your luck further and further to try and reach there. Now what happens is you can pick up these items and they all do certain things. So obviously machete for instance will allow you to cut through the I was going to say jungle, but it's actually through the woods, the forest, in order to get to another location. And you place the machete token on the first of the two cards on the, or on the hedge card, and there is a hedge card a player must traverse. Now actually I probably should mention that the one thing about the game is you will definitely need this with you. You'll need to keep the booklet with you, because the first couple of times you'll just need to get used to how the game plays, and that particular facet is that certain cards will have will basically have paths that disappear into nowhere. You can use that in order to cut through. You've got your rope is obviously to climb, your flashlight is for caves, your canoe is for water, and then of course your spyglass is to be able to see ahead of you, and the picnic basket is basically to do with bears, so that you may traverse a bear card by using it to effectively distract the bear, which is very nice. Each character has strengths and weaknesses, and that's written on the back. So you've got afraid of the dark, but you've got a butterfly bonus, which is useful. You also will have certain cards that are special cards as well. So you have your gold cards where you pick up gold, and any player that gets 3 of those gold effectively wins the game. Then you've got a butterfly card as well, which we've seen, and that will benefit one character, but also it's just a case of it's a bit of a breath away from the game. you've got, and I'll just show you on here just so you can see it, you've got a woods, there's a mountain card, which is when you turn that over, you can only go one more square and then the round is finished for you. You've got what they call a woods card, which basically means you have to follow a set of rocks in order to get through the woods. You can also use the machete there as well. You've got your lakes and rivers card. You're allowed two players on one of these cards, so you are allowed a player on this rope bridge here and then a player on the ground as well. That is acceptable, but that's the only time it also works for bridges like this as well. And then you've got your bear card. When you get your bear card, effectively you stop, unless you've got a picnic basket, of course, and then you can use that in order to distract them, which is always very, very useful. Now, just to note as well, one of the other things that the game has is only one player may leave his player token on each card, so you can stop on a card with a player token. Effectively what happens is you've got to, as you're counting up, if you go 2, 3, 4 cards down, if you've got that number of X's or less, then that's it. You have to stop and then you have to go back to the beginning. So it's really a case of you're pushing your luck. And I'll show you just one character. So Sunny, for instance, Sunny will choose 1 o'clock. And she'll choose that, and see, as you can see, she's already opened up a nice smoky house, and as per usual, because I play the game as it would be played normally, it allows us to see some of the strange events that happen. But you have a trading post, so you've got the trading post. What effectively happens with the trading post is that this can be used to trade for things if you wish to, which is useful indeed. Now, just to go back to the player explores a bear card at 1 o'clock, he evades the bear. If a player explores a card at 2 o'clock and the new card does not have an exit lining up with the current one, he ends his turn. If a player explores a card at 3 o'clock and the new card has exactly 3 exits in total, after placing the card, the player must stop without moving his player token. He has gotten lost. And then 4, if a player explores a card at 4 o'clock and the new card has exactly 4 exits in, after placing the card, the player must stop without token. 5 is exactly the same, and then 6 is exactly the same as well. So, and 7 and beyond, etc., etc., as you can imagine. All good, all useful. Effectively, though, we won't need to worry about that because we won't have anything to trade at the moment. We don't have any goods to trade, and we certainly don't have any gold to trade. So we're going to take a second card. So this is 2 o'clock, and we found some gold, which is very good. And you would normally put gold token there and say, yeah, I'll take that, thank you very much. So our one player has got first bit of token, first bit of gold, sorry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a third card, and this will be the third and final one. Now I'll see if it's got, oh dear. So that will go through there, and as you can see, you've got 3 exits, so that means her round is finished. But she does have the butterflies, and the butterfly bonus, as it says here, whenever Sunny explores or traverses into a butterfly card, she gains the butterfly card benefit for the rest of the current turn without having to stop. Additionally, Sunny never gets lost when exploring a butterfly card. So that means actually she can continue going on. Now, once again, you will need to keep a copy of this close by because you'll need to understand what each card does, the butterfly card, the fox card, etc., etc. And as you can see here, because even though I have played the game, this will be the second time I played the game, I still find it quite confusing. And it's because it's riddled with multiple options and meanings. But I think that it's a sort of game, I'll probably get to the review and explain that. But anyway, so that is effectively Bear Valley, and I'll do the review now and tell you what I think. Bear Valley is one of those games that I think will suit anyone who either likes a game where you've got a lot of rules but it's fixed so that you can play the game and you'll know each time what you'll get, or is for someone who wants to get 4 or 5 people together and play a game in which everyone gets to participate equally and also distinctly on their own, because you can play together as a co-op or you can play completely apart and go for gold or get to the end of the settlement, whatever, and you can do it, well, almost like a round robin situation. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Bear Valley. I think it lacks a lot of coherence, there's too many rules. The booklet, which you effectively have to keep this with you by playing it even, I think, after a few times, and I've read a few people commenting about it saying pretty much the same thing, which is they end up, it becomes like a sacred text for them because they have to keep referring back to it and going, yes, this is what we're allowed to do, this is what we're allowed to do. it does create a bit of a sort of stop-start feel to the game. That juttering means that for me personally, I felt that the game was a bit heavy and not the sort of experience I like. I like a game where people really get involved and sort of invested in it. And there are games where you can have lots of different rules and lots of different pieces to it, and you can still get really invested and really involved in it. But Bear Valley kept pulling me out to the point where I was kind of like, oh, here we go again. That said, I will once again reiterate that if you're a game player and you want a game that is that may not look the best and has a lot of kind of superfluous elements, that you can play with a group of people and they all basically take part in it, then probably Bear Valley's for you. Think of it as a kind of version of Subterra, just a little bit less good at Subterra, if that makes sense. I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of Subterra. I think it's an okay game, but playing it recently I found it boring and dull, to be fair, but that's just me. This is the sort of game that probably won't age well and probably won't sit in your collection for very long. Anyway, that was Bear Valley. I'm Simon, and this is Game Club, and thank you for watching.